Hey everybody, it's been a long time since we've done a product review, so I thought I would do a product review for you. Guess what we just got? Brand new Pitboss Austin XL. This is one of those pellet grills. Have you guys ever thought about getting a pellet grill? Well, stay tuned because on today's review, we're going to talk about that. Now we're going to start off today with telling you a couple quick things that I've discovered. Maybe it will help you guys out. There's several other videos you guys have probably scrolled through before you saw ours, but I'm going to kind of tell you guys one that I think is a little bit more informative, if you will. Maybe leave a comment, let me know what you thought. I think this will really help you guys out. Ready? Let's get started. So you decided that you want to get into smoking as well, or maybe you've already had a smoker. I've replaced 3 now. And my brother got a pellet smoker. And he's told me some great things about it, but I've never experienced the whole idea of a pellet smoker. I'll say this right off the bat real quickly. This is a really neat idea. The auger holds over 30 pounds of the pellet material. You can choose several different types, which I'll put on the screen right now. You've got apple, mesquite, hickory. Christy's already salivating, aren't you, already thinking about that barbecued pork in the background. So right off the side, I'm just going to tell you guys real quickly, we've already put this thing together. This is the hopper, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys a pro tip. I've never done the burn off yet, so the initial burn off, how long, how much, how soon, I was told the best thing is to fill it up maybe halfway and monitor it and stay on top of it. So I've already got the hopper already full, and I can shut this lid if I'd like to keep debris or matter in from getting in. Right now its leaves are falling, and I've already had a couple hit today. I want to show you guys something else if you come on over here. So there are 2 generous probes with this model. If you get the Austin XL, you do get 2 meat probes, which I thought is really cool. I've got those, and Christy will show you here in just a moment. Glass display so you can see how full your hopper is without having to get into it each time. And then on the front, you will see that there is a very generous large display from Pitboss telling you all the way up to 750 degrees. Most of us are going to be clicking in the slow and low range down here, we know, but should you decide that you want to grill, sear, whatever, this grill does it all. Real quick little pro tip. I also found that Pam has a high heat formula. So many of you are posting about regular Pam non-stick or cooking oil. I actually found that they make a grilling one for your grill. And since this is actually my very first burn, I've not had a chance to do it yet. We actually just put it all together. I thought I'd step away and let you guys just take a look at it. I've already sprayed a very generous coating of the material. And again, I use the Pam grilling high heat formula. If you guys are just using regular Pam, I'm sure it works. Cooking oil, I'm sure works. But I've got this thing ready to go. So, Christina, if you would, go ahead and watch that display right over there. Zoom on that. I've got it plugged in. So for the initial burn, what they said you want to do is you want to push the power button to on, which I am turning on now. And then we're going to set this up. Did I get it to turn on? Oh, I may have it not plugged in. Pause, hold on, we'll be right back. Okay, so sorry about that. I actually didn't realize I didn't have an outlet out here that was plugged in. So if you guys will hear it, I've already plugged it in. And as soon as you plug it in, you want to press the power button, turn it on, and then you'll see the initial settings on here. Smoke, and then the initial setting that they say you should turn it to is about 300 degrees. So if you'll notice right here, excuse me, that's set for 300. The actual temperature is 80. Probe temperature is at 77. Of course, we're not worried about food right now because we're not cooking on it. And it's actually showing 80, which is located inside. There is a thermometer connected to your electrical box inside to actually monitor that. So we're going to go ahead and leave this shut. Now, some have said you're actually supposed to put it on smoke. And again, this is where the conflict comes in. It says initially from the manufacturer, definitely burn it at a high temperature of around 300 for 40 minutes. So you want to do 300, turn it on, make sure you've primed the auger, then you want to set it for 300. I saw several of you set it for smoke. So leave a comment, let me know. It did say high heat, 300, let it start getting going. So I do know that there's plenty of material in there. The auger's already on, but I'm going to go ahead and just hit prime just to go ahead and shoot some extra material in there and put it on top of that cup, because we had already just started doing this initially before we turned this on, make sure everything was right. And I've already primed it, so you would have to hold that thing for definitely 2 to 5 minutes depending on your machine and how much you've placed in there. Pro tip, you might not want to go ahead and burn the thing initially until you can actually see it turning up top. But once your auger starts turning, you'll get the material inside the cup, you'll start to see it drop in, and we'll come back and we'll start showing you smoking. Stand by. Okay, and so it didn't take but maybe even 60 seconds, and you can already see there's enough material on the cup that's located just down inside of here. There's enough material on there to go ahead and get that going. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and slide this shut now because we're not going to be grilling, we're going to be smoking. So we're going to go ahead and slide that shut. I'm going to go ahead and place this back in here. We're going to close the lid. I'm going to put my glasses back on. And I'll see you in 45 minutes. Oh yeah, let's absolutely. Look at that, it's already going. And that's less than 2 to 3 minutes already into it. Showing at 80 degrees. We've got it set for 300, and so it shouldn't take super long at all, and I'm gonna get it up to temp. You want to burn off all that oil and get everything off, so we'll check back. And we're now only 5 minutes into it, and you can see all the smoke coming out of it already. Are you getting excited?
Yes.
Okay, and then Christy had asked a question, which is a great question. Thank you for asking. We are now less than 10 minutes into this. It's already at 100 degrees. Okay, and if you'll notice, what do you not see coming out of it?
No smoke.
No smoke. Remember what I told you. Once you get the initial setup done, this shows that your product is now ready to go. Not quite seasoned because we've not had a chance to actually do any cooking on it, but we've not got this set to smoke mode, which we want to explain to people. This is actually set up as like an oven, if you will, or a high temperature grill set at 300 degrees. So we're not wanting to smoke right now. So for those that don't know, this can be used as a smoker. It can be used to do just about anything, but without any gas or without any expensive charcoals or going out and buy. In fact, these bags are about, what, Christy, $11 to $16?
Yes.
And now look, we're already at 120 degrees, and it's been less than 10 minutes, and we're already into it, heating up just nice. Now, I know one thing that people have said is, look at the difference between that thermometer at 125. Remember, we're not worried about the probes because we're not cooking outside, inside. And if you'll notice here, it's 150. Does anybody want to take a pro tip guess of why is this 150 plus and that only showing 130? I'll pause for a minute. Christy, do you have an idea why?
No.
I'll tell you why. And so nobody wants to hit Pitboss with a negative ding. Pitboss, if you're listening, here's one guy that knows what you're talking about. That's because the cooking grate is right in the very center of the unit. So it would make no sense for the thermometer on the far left-hand or far right-hand side to read the same as the unit in the middle. So the unit in the middle is receiving the brunt of the heat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So make sure you guys differentiate between this and your actual temperature that you see it set on. So mine's set right now, as we said, to 300 degrees. It's showing 145, now 150 on the LCD display, and it's already 150 plus there. So about what, a 5 degree difference? Not too bad.
Yeah.
So let's check back again. Okay, so we've been letting this thing go now for a good solid 45 minutes to an hour. Have it set at 300 degrees. As you can see here, about 305. But if you go down, again, like we talked about earlier, you can have the controller set for 300 and actual 280. Remember, this probe that's sitting here, and we're not talking about meat probes. Remember, those are separate. This Pitboss Austin XL does come with 2 meat probes. But we're talking about the actual thermometer that is inside of this location, actually just right inside this wall. So remember, you're going to have about a 10 degree difference from the middle, where all the heat comes out, to the probe that's on the side. So, all right, and as you can see, I sprayed a great surface of the high temperature pan like we talked about. You can see it all coming out, so I'm going to have to wipe that all out. You can see it dripping and oozing down, but I have got a generous coat in there. My son even come home from work, first thing he said was, wow, it smells really good. And we haven't even got it set to smoking mode. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn this to the smoke mode. So we've already had this at 300 degrees for quite some time. We're gonna go ahead and turn it down to smoke, which I believe is that's sitting there. So that is on smoke. So as you can see, it's on the S for smoke. And what's going to happen now is all that heat is going to draw out. You can see the auger setting is on P4, which, as I read, turns the auger for about 18 seconds and then stops for, I'll go back and post it, but it stops and then it'll come back on and then so many seconds later. So you'll have to look at it. The lower the number, to the higher the number, what the auger setting does. So factory setting P4, leave it alone, let it run. Now for that whole entire 45 minutes to almost an hour, you can see we've just lost that little bit amount. So we'll just tell you now, again, I didn't fill this thing completely all the way up until I had got it burned in and moved to location. But what a great unit. Can't wait. Got it set to smoke mode now, so the heat should automatically start dying down, and it should start producing a really, really great amount of smoke here shortly. So we'll be back. Oh my gosh, Christina.
Oh my gosh, look at them. They look so good already.
Listen, you hear that?
Yes.
Look at that beautiful smoke already on it. It's only been on there for an hour. Look at that. You can see the difference in the meat. Oh. I love you, Pitboss. I love you, Pitboss.